Unsupported resolution. Okay, there we go. There we go. Good afternoon. All right, I'm just waiting. I'm looking at a red line and it should be green. So I'm trying to see if it's going to turn green. I don't want to have to start and then start over again. So let me do this and check. I don't know if you guys can see and hear well. Let me know in the comments. Oh, goodness. It's too late to call back. Wow. On a day that I don't think. All right. Let's phone down. All kind of messages. I can. Okay. Okay, I can see myself, so I guess I'm good. Okay, now the light is green. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so I can't see you guys, but I can't see with these things on. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to put them on at some point, maybe, but that's driving me crazy. So, how is everybody? Let's see, what is today? Monday? How's the week going? How's school going? I think I kind of picked a nice time, to bring this up. And I'm not just going to bring this up. Um, I have been at a kind of a crossroads this year on this channel, certain topics. And I've just been thinking about a lot of things and praying about a lot of things. And I'm moving this channel in a different direction, but not so much different. It's the same direction. Those of you that have been here for the journey, thank you. And there is more. Um, just lots of different things coming up. You guys know I'm not a, how do I want to put this? I don't want to say typical. I don't want to sound like um, I don't know. I shouldn't have to even explain this. But above anybody or anything like that, I'm just not your average homeschooler. Just got back from state testing for my son. How did that go? that you could tell, and hopefully you will let me know, personally how that, you know, we can dialogue about that personal conversation. But yeah, I know how that is. But yeah, I'm not your typical homeschooler. And I just, this whole YouTube thing and homeschooling and in the millennium, it's just new to me. And I just watch and take some things, and it's interesting, but I have a whole different approach because I started before the millennium. And so there wasn't the the deal with the internet, and all these different curriculums, and things like that, all these bells and whistles and that kind of stuff right there. uh yeah, it's nice. It's good that there are things available that there didn't used to be, and I'm sure many veteran moms agree. But I also hear at the same time, we kind of do our own thing. We don't typically venture over into some new stuff because we're used to doing things our way, and not be so boggled down with, okay, I need to figure this out, and I need to look at this, and oh, somebody just showed me this, and that's a whole lot of information right there. It's a whole lot of information. And especially if you're just starting out and you have no idea what to do, and you have more than one child, that right there is a whole hot mess. If you pulled your child out of the public school system, yeah. So I just try. I kind of stick with what I know, and I talk to you guys all the time about um, when you have those days and you just feel like you're overwhelmed and you don't know what to do, or you think that are they getting it? Is it worth it? Those kind of moments, you have to come in at the beginning with that light at the end of the tunnel. You have to see that light already. And it's very hard when you have a lot of interference going on. But I saw what I saw. I watched my kids first. There was no curriculum and internet and all that. I just watched my kids, and how they took interest in things, and how we talked to them, how they talked to us, and I ran with that, and I just kept that up. I know somebody recently asked, would I do something on the topic of how I homeschool the older kids? I'm kind of answering a lot of that, and I don't know that I'm going to sit down and do a full out video on that, because our way is not your way. Not to sound offensive or defensive, but our way is not your way. And I think homeschooling is really a personal journey. Things that I show you that I do with the little kids, I did with my older kids. And that is because I'm seeing the fruits of our labor within the older children, where they made it to, where they're going, what they had to overcome, to get there. And it's like, if they did it, then these little kids can do it. Why am I going to change it because it's a whole new, barrage of information and material, and, things like that. Okay, I will let you know soon as we find out. Seems I was more worried about him. I was more worried than him. Yes, I would like to try the traditional way because K-12 runs like a college. Okay. So yeah. But yeah, I just, like I said, we kind of sit down and talk about stuff around here, and listen to these kids. And I wish sometimes, if we had a camera on some random moments, I do catch, and I don't know how the conversation's going to go. I just kind of roll it and let it go. But sometimes these kids say some things. And the other day, we were, I don't know, we had just finished a lesson. Um, and Leila was sitting at the table, and she just looks at me just as bright and attentive, and says, I was born to be a doctor. And I was like, and I'm just like looking at my child, like, the same one hollering Amistad the other week in the back of the car because she wanted freedom. I say, what'd you say? I was born to be a doctor. I say, a doctor? What kind of doctor? I was born to be a veterinarian. And I said, and you know all of this at 8 years old? Yeah, I do. I said, okay. I'm not going to tell her no. I'm not going to ask her how she knows, but I'm running with that because I think she knows what she wants to do. And she's like the first one that has really come to me and said, this is what I want to do. And then I came back to her a little bit with something in regards to math. Because you guys know that's that dreaded topic. And I said, well, doctors, you taking care of animals. It's not just like the pet shop where you just feed them and bathe them and, whatever. It's not like that. You have to take care of them if they're sick. I said, and doctors have to know math because they have to prescribe medication to these animals. And so, they have to calculate this medication. Because I said, what happens if they don't give them the right dose, or too little or too much, or the wrong medication? They have to be quick and sharp. And so I'm constantly reminding her of that. That's the reason why I look for agility and things like that when they're doing things. And it's a lot of repetition on some things. You guys will hear me say this is a review, because I'm reminding them. And she says, okay. And I said, okay, you understand. And yeah, so we're going to pick, up more on that and see, just what we can do. Now, is she going to be a veterinarian? I do not know, but that was a very strong statement from her. I'm like, this is a child that you never really, she's very quiet. She is like one of my older girls, very quiet. She doesn't say much. She get that from me. She just moves in silence. So I was like, okay. When you don't say anything, we wonder what you think. But when you say something, it's very powerful. So times like that, those are very important conversations and learning experiences themselves. Much more so than picking up a curriculum. Leah. No, not Leah, Leila, the twin. Leah wants to, I don't know, Leah did say she wanted to be a doctor. But I don't see Leah being a doctor. I see Leah she's going to be very strong. For one, she's very little. She's the quiet one. And I don't want to say she gets, everybody has one, the runt of the family. She's the runt. Everybody she's like one of my middles, and she kind of gets overlooked a lot. I pay a lot of special attention to her. She's also the whiner of the family. So, she's like another one of my kids, and I'm like, wow, she grew up to be so headstrong, and that child has my back when I need something out of all these other kids. And I tell them, look, later on when I need help, I'm not calling none of y'all, because y'all are going to put me in a home somewhere. I'm calling her because she's going to help me. Y'all, they all about themselves, but she will help. She will go, whatever. But she also took a lot of static because she was very smart. She was picked on, some of you guys might get it. She was bullied. You might know who I'm talking about. But Leah is kind of in that realm. And I'm just like, you know what? One day, one of y'all are going to say the wrong thing to her, and she's going to jump up and do something. She's going to show y'all something, okay? I'm not going to say nothing. I'm waiting for that day because she need to grow up. But that's my girl. But I just, I see her being something in a leadership role. I just, if something is not right, it's not right. She likes to argue. She may be a good attorney, something like that. But I see her doing something very, very strong. But then again, she does have she's very caring too and nurturing. So, she could be, but could be an administrator of a hospital or something like that. Instead of a doctor, it may turn into something totally different. So I don't know. But yeah, these other ones, we're still trying to I kind of have some ideas, I have some ideas on what's going on with them and how they might, how they may go. And I'm just kind of curious myself to see if my thoughts, are on point or not. Mm. So, African centered, what the heck is that? African grounded, a grounded African American homeschool is our topic. Now, it's a difference between being grounded and being centered. Some of us today are in that, oh yeah, we're real centered. You got this pro black this and pro black that. Mm-mm. Because what I see and what I hear are totally different things. Ideology. It's a partial, but then what comes out, if you're a vlogger, something totally different. I'll tell you guys something. I've talked about this time and time again about us sharing things. Somebody, and I'm going to read this in just a second. Let me pull it up so I don't forget. And I'm going to throw it in a vlog because it is just that worthy. But I don't see enough of us representing for us. Okay? We're very quick to show this, that, and the other curriculum. But when it comes to stuff, okay, you might, I picked up this book, it's about us. I picked up that book. But you don't never hear anything else about it. They're just showing it, okay? That's centered. We started from the ground, submersing these kids in culture. The thumbnail that you saw is what's in the living room. What we teach the kids is not homeschool. It's our life. It has nothing to do with homeschool. What I show you guys, some of the stuff, I can't, if you guys watch the last 2 homeschool videos, there's a reason for that. Now, that stuff is not current. It's not old. It's not current. I just never showed you. And I had to modify a lot of it because I'm not ready for that. That's part of my curriculum. So, but you kind of get a glimpse of what we're doing. That's a complete flip from when I show you them McGuffies and all them other stuff. And again, there's a reason for that. I cannot show all my stuff yet because it's not out there. Okay. That's how our house look every day, all day. Okay. If I show you the lesson plan book, you might see a little lesson about this and a little lesson about that, but a lot of that stuff is empty, and I still left it empty. I'm going to show you guys because I can't show you everything. I hope you just understand where I'm going with that, but I do have some stuff. I have some stuff right here. I'm going to get into that in a few minutes. So yeah, what we do around here, I mean, you even saw the 5-year-old with her notebook, okay? We use these spirals, and I told you guys that's what I did with the older kids. We take our books, and I'm going to show you what I mean by books. Any book. I'm going to show you what you can do with these books, okay? She's copying spelling words, Nubia, Ghana, civilization, Mali, Mansa Musa. Okay, those are spelling words. We done with the cat and the dog and all that. That, I kind of, try to show a little bit of something, but we don't keep doing all of that because they already know that and they get bored very, very quickly. Okay. I think in the beginning I showed you guys one of the videos. The child was spelling. They do SAT words, so I use a flash method for that. Um, and it usually takes some of them. It usually takes maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days, but definitely not the whole week. But they got the whole uh, spelling, the part of speech for the most part, and the whole definition. I don't have to coach anybody. I just will randomly in the middle of a lesson call out a definition or a word and the person, and they do it. Same way I showed you the geography. It's so much more that they know than just. I probably just shared the maybe the country and the capital. They know more stuff than that within that. That's just all I showed. um, the same way that you would take what else geography have I showed you guys? Galloping the globe. I showed you that. Um, I mean, it's a stand open the book, follow the, and I'm like, okay, yeah. This is very nice. We can use this and it does work and I designed something around it. But we can also do other things, okay? You guys have to think outside of the box when you're using things. Don't just stay within that box. Um, and say this is it. All right, so I'm getting ready to read this message and then I'm going to get to what I have here on the side. It says, oh, that's my reply. It says, let me get to the right conversation because we have conversations. All right, here it is. It says, I remember a time when homeschoolers would share practical tips and advice that could help others on their journey. All I see on YouTube now is homeschoolers trying to make a buck. They want to influence others, but their content is lacking. Everybody is showing off their curriculum and the stuff they have bought, but nobody is showing how to implement these things or even what they did. Hello, not my words, okay? But I've been saying that for years. Their updates are just lip service. Hello, all talk, all fluff, and no substance. I appreciate you guys for coming here and always telling me, yes, you follow up. Yes, you do this. Yes, you go beyond. I'm not trying to show off. What I do on my videos, I'm trying to find that in somebody else. I say this because a lot of homeschoolers will regret it if someone likes you stop doing videos. You drop truths. You share practical advice, information that I can actually use to improve my homeschool. The other day, I was looking for African American books to enrich my kindergarten homeschool year. And would you believe, out of all the homeschoolers on YouTube, I could only find one person who did an extensive African study and shared the material. All right, here I am. As a matter of fact, your haul was so extensive, I did not have to continue searching. You are needed in this community. If no one else appreciates your work, know that I do. Be blessed. Words like that, because you guys know I'm kind of on, I kind of kick back on this homeschool stuff, and I'm kicking back even more. I'm going towards this grounding. I need you all to get in front and understand the difference between grounding and centering. Okay, you have to ground, you center, you have to build. Our BFF building, my curriculum, Yara, build. I'm called in a new direction. I need to speak on building. So that's where I'm going with this. Okay, this right here came after some things I have been tossing up, and I'm like, okay, this is not in my head. I'm not making this up. Somebody else is seeing things, and Okay, I have a platform. Let me go ahead and just use it. I'm not going to worry about who doesn't care, who's doing this, I can't be bothered. Either you listen or you don't. If I start privatizing it and send it out links, I'm sure people are going to be upset. But hey, if I'm not getting the support, what can I do? Tell you guys, a lot of my people that are supporting are not even subscribers. That happens to a lot of people, but I need you guys that are subscribers to support, because if I don't hear anything, people like this is a person that would get a private link to my stuff. It would just be a talk. Here you go. I appreciate you. Everybody else is not worth my time. Um, Let me see. And I don't think I'm going to read this. It says, "Blessings, sis. I am so humbled by your words. I truly appreciate your support and encouragement. It is challenging to continue on YouTube with what you said is going on. Lip service. I do get negative feedback sometimes, and this makes me reevaluate my time and efforts I put on helping where I can. I do know, however, that there are genuine people that really seek, need, and take a lot away from what I offer. I have and always will be persistent, so anything I can do to help, any comments such as this, just tell me to keep going. In all honesty, I couldn't agree more with you on the show people put on. I have been to the point where I'm searching for channels like mine so I can glean from them. Thank you again. It's individuals like you that bring positivity to my reel and the community." And there's a little bit more, and a reply, but I'm not going to read the reply. Just thanks again for being the blessing to the online homeschool community. But yeah, that right there, that's one person. I just I may sound a little bit selfish, but I want to hear that from everybody. I want to hear that from everybody sometime. I give credit where credit is due. If I'm truly helping you, let me know. If I'm not helping you, I'm not sure why you're here. But if I am helping you, let me know. That's all I'm saying. That negative stuff, my husband and I were discussing the stuff from the other day, and I said, you know what? And he was like, how could somebody do and say? And I'm like, I don't know. He said, it's ignorance. And I said, yeah, I guess it is. Um, there really wasn't anything negative. We don't teach our children Greek terms. We don't teach, that stuff is in a book. Uh, we don't do that. That is the problem today, and that's what I'm saying. You have to ground yourself. Some people are coming into what they say is the truth or their conscience. This is not something new to us, okay? This is some old stuff, and just the way people are approaching it. What do we just have? Easter. People are conscious. They're waking up. Oh, we don't do this and we don't do that. Okay, but you partaking of this Easter, these pagan holidays. Okay, you got these Easter eggs. Okay, yes, eggs are a symbol of life, fertility, and all of that. You die in the Easter eggs. You die in the. Okay, if you're conscious and you're grounding, you're not doing all of that. Africans didn't do that. They didn't. They didn't do that. Why are you doing it? Your ancestors did not do that. I'm kind of lost. Why assimilate because you see somebody else when you know it's wrong and you continue to do it? You can't explain it. They didn't do that. And you continue to teach your kids. That's what's wrong with us. We continue to feed these kids stuff. We say we're quick to call out stuff. And it's basic stuff. Oh, this is wrong. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do this. But what are you doing? You're not doing any better. You took them out of school because you say, I can do better than the school system. The teacher wasn't doing, then what, whatever. It's many reasons people homeschool, but To me, some of y'all doing a disservice to your kids. Why continue to do that? It doesn't make sense. These kids need to know the truth, and if you can't teach it in some sort of way, you need to be educating yourself along with them instead of just feeding them what has been brought to the forefront because it's popular. We don't care about popularity around here. We care about instilling cultural and moral values in the children. We can't go with the popular. Okay, because the popular had us lynched and all kind of stuff, and they still doing it. Take away our rights, just all kind of stuff. That's the popular. We don't want that. These curriculum. And I don't want to spend too much long on this, but I'm with a lot of people on this. Images that you show your children, whether it's in a book or it's in a curriculum or what have you. Those images are very, very lasting. Going back to that rug will be talked about long after it's gone. Okay, everybody is going to be talking about that rug. We have images that we have hung, art that we have hung in our house over the years, and the kids are still talking, Mom, can you find this? Can you find this piece? Can you find this piece? Very important that we put up what they can relate to, what is relevant. And I skipped the book, so that's going to be probably in the next one. I'll probably just mention it. But I had another reference in here I wanted to talk about. Certain curriculums put these images in here that don't even represent us. And here we are because it is a nice, I don't know if it's because it's a package and it, it looks all nice to tell you what to say, what to do, and all of that. Okay. But is that us? Is that really you? Is that what you, is there nothing else? You have to use that. These images that are supposed to be so beautiful, that have nothing to do with your kids, there's no reflection, no tie or anything. Don't you think that's going to mess up their head? It will. Because kids hold on to things. They really do. Images are like the number one thing. They will hold on to an image forever. And then the words, to put the words behind it. Why can't you have something that looks like them and represents them? Going back to how we did the other kids, a lot of our schooling, the Cosby Show, Good Times, things like that. You know why? Because my kids could relate to that. Okay? No, we're not lawyers, we're not doctors, but they can relate to what's going on in that family. Okay? We can tell them about good times. See, back in that time, society, the kids were not so messed up as they are as these millennial kids. What happened? We don't have those images, those good images. What's on TV is garbage. What these kids are listening to half the time is garbage. And so we continue to, because that's the only thing there, it's fine. There's a line to supporting your people. There's a line to that. Sometimes, we want to support our people before, everybody else, but there's a line to that. There's some things you cannot give them. I'll talk to you guys about Malcolm X. The little kids have not watched Malcolm X yet. And I talked about how I've been watching Amistad. Amistad is part of my curriculum. We're getting ready to show them Malcolm X. They are ready for Malcolm X. They are so ready. Just going off of them, their maturity. No, I'm not saying you need to go show your kids Malcolm X. You know your kids. But again, this is what we did with our older kids. Okay. We met them where they were. You're good. Yes, Good Times and Cosby Show. Girl, yes. My husband was saying James, his father was a mix of James and somebody else. But yeah. That's what we know. We had the DVDs before I still got the DVDs. before the Netflix and, all of that kind of stuff. So that's what we did. That's all we needed. There was so much to discuss and talk about and learn about, on the real. So how you approach that, I don't know. We don't really try to go too much into anything, but Malcolm X is going to open up a whole new can of worms. And I kind of, because we've been talking so much about him for so long, they are just more so than Martin Luther King. And that is because by any means necessary is so relevant today. These kids are fighting for their life every minute, every second, going out the door. And when they asked, why was he pointing? We explained to them, that's what he was saying. Do you understand those words? Do you understand the power? No, we're not going to arm them. We're not going to arm them, but we are in Texas. We are open carry state, and yes, we do have. But we're not getting ready to do all that. We fighting with the mind, okay? With the mind. And when you, like I say, when you ground these kids with these images and things like that, you grow them up, you send them off. They can go to the Ivy League if they want to, okay? But if you have grounded them, they're going to hold on to that culture. Today's kids do not have any culture. Any. The only culture they know is, I don't know, it's an artist named Culture. Cardi B, yeah, the child name, yeah. She didn't name the child name Culture. That's the culture. If you ask them, oh yeah, that's Cardi B, baby. They know the album. His album, the Baby Daddy album. Yeah, Culture. That's all the culture they know. And that's sad. The Cosby Show positively influenced my life from the pilot episode when Theo got D's all the way. Girl, yes, I still watch. When I do my hair, that's what I watch, the Cosby Show. Sis, I'm waiting on your curriculum to come out soon. I'm working. I got a lot of angles. It's a lot of ideas. It's just a lot of stuff. Images. All right, so what to do? And this is what this discussion, this topic. This is going to be. I don't want to say a series, but it's going to be a series. Okay. I'm gonna keep it going. I know there are going to be questions that I will have to answer or try to answer or help guide you guys with, but it's up to you to understand what I'm trying to show you. Okay. We just talked about, buying these different curriculums and what they have to offer and, things like that. You don't need all of that. Trust me, you don't. A library card is all you need, really. You don't have to have a whole lot of money. I do suggest that when you do buy things, they need to represent us. And us, it is, even though it seems like there are a lot of books relevant to us that, reflect our children and our heritage, all of them are not good, okay? Some of them are written by the other people, so you have to be careful. You have to be very careful when you select books. Make sure, first, you support our artists, okay? Our illustrators, our authors, before you just pick up that book and say, oh, this is a good book, because not all of them are what they seem, okay? And that's the same thing you guys are saying. How, I took them out of school because they don't teach this, and how can they teach us? A lot of us, if you pull out your books, you start realizing, check these authors, they're not even brown. What could they possibly know? Okay, then you go on to check their their background and see what they learned and where they learned it from. Some of y'all don't want to take the time to do that. And I talked about that. And I've seen other people talking about that. That is very important because you want to see where these people got their knowledge from. You check that stuff out because some of them have a different agenda. And I started to title this Culture or Culture, okay? Because that's where some of this is. We know some of this stuff out here is culture, not culture, okay? And the minute somebody say, "Ooh, you use this," but don't say this because we like this. Okay, you like it. Okay. To each his own. All right, little kids. I'm going to give you an example of something. I'm trying to, something that everybody probably knows. Let me look at this and make sure. Okay. Everybody probably knows about a feast for 10. Okay, what do you do with this book? You only have one book at home. What do you do with this book? Okay, we're going to read the book. Can you turn this into a curriculum? Yeah. How? Well, we read the book and, my little 3-year-old liked the book. It's got some nice pictures in it. What do I do with this book? And I look at all books like this. First of all, they're talking about a feast. And when we have a feast, we have a feast, okay? So you're going to tie that into what do you do to have a feast? And no, I'm not talking about Thanksgiving. But we are known for Sundays, Sunday dinner. Teach them kids about Sunday dinner at your grandma's house, big mama house, your auntie and them, your uncle, everybody coming over and what you had and how you cooked it. And that turned into a whole lesson. Go in there and cook some stuff. Okay? They start with going shopping. You have one. So the child is learning one, what they need to go. The thing is, you see a whole family getting together and getting ready to go shopping for food. That's really not that common these days, okay? Neither is a whole family sitting down at the table. That's not that common, okay? The numbers in the book. First of all, they're learning how to count. 1, guess what you do? Go to the whiteboard. Write the number 1. The numeral. This says 1 cart in the grocery store. Into the grocery store. I see 2 sight words if you're teaching sight words. No, 3. 1, into, and the. You're teaching some sight words right there. Why do you need a curriculum? Write them on the board. Get a child a notebook to spiral. Write down the number 1, O-N-E. You got spelling. Write down into. Write down the. The next day, turn back to the same page. 2-3 days, they have learned those 3 words and they have learned learn how to spell those 3 words. Learn how to identify that. Guess what? Move on to cart. Then move on to grocery. Then move on to store. The same way. Write it on the board. You have a 3-year-old reading that page. Now, it's not written in a sentence form, but guess what? Turn it into a sentence. Give them the paper, the spiral notebook. Write this sentence. Copy work. Now, my 5-year-old doesn't do this because she's beyond this, but I'm just saying, this is a curriculum by us that you made, okay? You don't have to go spend this book probably costs, I don't know, $5, $10, I don't know. Oh, it's only one book, but other than that, guess what? The pictures in here are beautiful. There's art in here. You want to paint? Let's go paint these pictures. Paint what you see. Older kids, let's talk about how we go to the grocery store. What do we do? What do you look for in the grocery store? Then you get them interested in making a grocery list and all that kind of stuff. Talk about the similarities in foods that they're selecting. Do you have those kind of foods? Do you eat those kind of foods? Then they get over to preparing the foods and they set the table, which is also sometimes a very foreign concept these days. These kids don't know nothing about setting the table. Just go to the table and eat. That's it. Just teaching them manners. 10 hungry folks to share the meal. So they sit down talking, and you got grandma and grandpa. That's a whole nother concept. Most people don't have extended family at the table eating with them. But when you talk about Sunday dinner, hold on now. Hello? On what? His phone? The phone is right here. Their phone. Oh, what'd he say? What? Well, he had to earn it. Mm. 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 Okay. Okay. I'll sit down and think about it. What is he trying to get? Mm. Okay. Well, I'm gonna ask him how. Yeah, I'm gonna ask him to write something about it. Okay. Yeah. I, he can buy it. Yeah. Okay. I'll sit down and think about it, and then I'll call you and tell you what I came up with. Okay. Okay. Bye. These kids, boy, they always want something. Somebody trying to earn some money for something. But yeah, the whole family sitting down, having dinner together. We don't a lot of times don't even uh interact with other people. And back in the day, that's not how it used to be. We had everybody over Sunday dinner. The ancestors, everybody in the village ate together. We have to get back to the village. The village. It really does take a village, and a lot of us are hmm, so we just segregate ourselves to the point where it's not helping anybody. And I can't really unpack that because that's part of my book. But like I said, this is just one example of a book. What you can do. There is no geography in this one, but again, there's a lot of positive images in here, and these kids can color. They can, even if you don't have paint, you can color. Crayons, whatever. But it's so much that you can use this book for, not just we're going to read this book. Okay. And you can pull it out again and again and again. That's just like that's a classic book. Let me see. Another one I'm going to show you really quick. Uncle Jed's Barbershop. Okay. We have this book is so old, but we have the cassette tape of this too. Now the thing everybody knows, the barbershop and black men. Taking little boys to the barbershop is like a whole new world. That's something that they love. And if you have, even if you don't have little boys, because the girls really can't understand it. I do my son's own hair, but he has been to the barbershop. But you know that there's a whole, like I said, there's a whole new world going to the barbershop. It's so much stuff you can pull out of this book. And this is one of these books that these kids will remember forever because it's something they can relate to. They can relate to sitting in the chair, all the men sitting there, see the little boy standing amongst the men, the elders, all the things that they talk about. These men school these little kids when they come in there on this, that, and the other. You may not visit the barbershop. You may not have sons, but again, somebody is around. Granddad, uncle, something like that. These kids can relate to this. Furthermore, Uncle Jed's Barbershop, entrepreneurship. Okay, this is positive. Entrepreneurship. I'm going to talk about art. Now, I shared with this a long time ago. Let me see. I have two things. Art. Yeah, there's all kind of, I teach the kids about different kind of, not teach them, but show them a little Michelangelo and Picasso and who else did you see us, some of that stuff, but stuff like this right here. Okay? Stuff you put on your walls, your own pictures. Your own picture albums make the best art, okay? Your own family photo albums make the best art study. Okay, some of y'all don't even think like that, but they really do. You want to get something like this. You don't have to teach them Michelangelo and Picasso and Chagall and all of that. This is Jacob Lawrence. We got Jacob Lawrence hanging downstairs now. This is Clementine Hunter. It may be only one page, but you start here with these images and whatever they give you in the dialogue. This is copy work. This is language arts, because guess what? This reading, you let them read it, and you take these words. Clementine Hunter, circa 1887, 1988, is one of the most celebrated American self-taught artists in the 20th century. Guess what you do with that? You're going to turn that into a sentence. You're going to diagram that sentence. You're going to make lowercase letters and let them correct the sentence. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay? Out of this. You don't need a curriculum to do this. All you need is this book. Any book. You can do this. You need spelling words. You pull the spelling words out here. Plantation. Louisiana. I mean, those think of the higher words, not the little bitty words. Think of the, curator. What is a curator? You got to talk about the curator. Ask him the next day, what is a curator? Baptism. Cane River. You got geography right there. Let's pull out the map. Let's look up Cane River. What is important about Cane River? That was a very good book, by the way. But the African American church. I mean, it's just so much that you can do in one little book. Just one page. How many pages in this book? Probably about 20. And the thing about this book is it has questions at the top of it. So you ask the questions, after you read whatever. So this is a very good little, this by itself is a good little book. Why are the people coming out of the church? Are the people nuns? Is the other duck looking for food? So, they are really thinking with this book. I could just use it like that. But again, I could use this book for a whole lot of things. Not just that. But again, it's introducing a lot of different artists. Henry Oswald Tanner. Hampton University. Okay. Hey, you're teaching them about universities. Let's learn about some Hampton. You know, what is important about Hampton. Don't look at a book for it being just a book. It's not just a book. There's many things that you can do with it. Okay, let me show you guys something, and I'm not going to really unpack a whole lot on this one. I'm going to keep it moving. Amos Fortune. Okay, I have used that book, and I'll probably tell you more about that book a lot. But, I'll show you something really quick. Make sure this is in frame. Okay, this is my own work. This is part of my curriculum. Okay, this is copy work. This is cursive handwriting. There's also a print version of this. Amos Fortune, born the son of a king in the Atmanchi tribe in Africa. So when you purchase a curriculum, you may not have read Amos Fortune, but your child is going to write about Amos Fortune. Your job is to go in and at least start with that book, so they can know, not just, oh, she just wants you to copy. No, I don't. And then there's lines for them to copy over or write other things that they learn, because that's what I'm going to, those are the instructions to write something else that they have learned about this person. Okay, so there's so many. This is like something, it did not dawn on me to throw this in there, but I'm like, you know what? Let me, and that's not their copy, that's an old copy, or my work, like, to show. Let me show what you can do in the way of handwriting, copy work, that type of thing. I didn't want a bunch of facts that were useless, but I see that this is very effective. And so what you're going to get is something that poses thought. It's also going to help because I ask, get the question, how do they write so neatly? Yes, I show you guys, what they do with the McGuffies and all of that, but it's my own stuff. There's many components to this, because what they're getting is, I'm going, history. There is what do you call that? Inventors. There's musicians. There's painters. It's just going to be information on a whole bunch of people. It is kind of based on the alphabet, but there's not going to be, I can't say in each component there's like one person A, because there's many A people, or B people. There may be like 4 or 5, per whatever. I don't know, maybe 3. It just depends on how I break it up. But that right there, that's why I said I needed help. I had to hire somebody, because all the stuff is, I started thinking of more stuff, and my husband was sitting here thinking, he was like, you gotta categorize it to, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I can't use something and say I use it and then just give it to you guys like that. So you can look out for something like that as a component. A lot of my, let me go while I pull this up. A lot of my what do you call it? A lot of my stories, a lot of my literature, and things like that we use for, again, the same way I just showed you the other books, come out of here. Make sure this is in the frame. Okay, and this book has been holding on. It's very old. My mom even had one at her house. Okay. African American read aloud stories, fables, fairy tales, and myths. Okay. You don't have to read them Little Red Riding Hood. Some of that stuff they can't relate to, but what's in here they can. Okay. We had this book probably since the kids were like 1 and 2 or something like that. Is Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Colin Powell, Sounders, Langston Hughes, all kind of stuff in here. Got another one in there on the shelf too. But the same thing I told you about this, and this one doesn't have it doesn't have that many pictures. The pictures are really small. It's really, just a little tiny image, but they are African images. It's a basic black and white, but we do a lot of I have them draw a lot of whatever it is that they see. They tell me what they got out of the story. We do the spelling words, the sentence diagramming, the correct the sentence, all that kind of stuff. This book right here, all you need is something like this. This book is humongous. This book has over 400 pages. I believe this book cost $20 when it was purchased. I know you can find them for as little as like $6 or $7. But this is a lot better than some of the images that I see. At least the cover is very nice and thought-provoking. And right there, you got a granddad on the porch, telling the stories. You got the African drum. Just all kind of stuff. Stuff that kids don't see. The little girl with the braids and the beads in her hair. That says a lot. My older kids still remember the book. They can tell you what the cover looks like without even looking at it. So, that's something is very relevant, to make sure that the images are good. Here's another younger book, but I have also spun into the older level. Pretty much everybody has heard about this, Bringing Rain to the Kapiti Plain. And first of all, you're looking at a man, standing on one leg. It's a lot of things that you could do with this. Miss Azamite. Hi, everyone. Hello. Thank you for joining. But yeah, if you want to, watercoloring and things like that. These are really nice images. No, their pictures are not going to look exactly like this, but this is art. This is art. Okay, this is what our ancestors knew. They don't know about Da Vinci and Gauguin and Chagall. They don't know about that. But this right here, yeah. Hey, that homeschool life. Right here is talking about geography. It's talking about drought and things like that. I can't tell you because I this is part of my stuff, and I wrote a whole whole lessons on this, just this book. But you pull out certain words and let them understand what they mean. But a lot of these words, if you are teaching phonics, that's I should have said that from the beginning, but phonics, you don't need phonics programs and all of that. You don't have to have that. Use what you have. Whatever book you have, you're going to get the same. I see great, green, and grass and ground on one page. Okay, what do you see in common with those words? You write them on the whiteboard or chalkboard. Oh, they begin with GR. In about 5 minutes or less, you will have taught them those 3 words because they have learned GR says bruh. But some of us kind of make it a little hard thinking we need other stuff. We don't need other stuff. Okay, a lot of stuff you have is right in front of your, right at your reach. This is a tale. It's a tale, but there's a lot of relevance in it, and Like I said, it is part of the deal. Here's another one. Many of you guys may be familiar with Ashanti to Zulu African traditions. This is a Caldecott winner. This is also a very old book. And so in here you got this map, and our maps don't look like this. The terminology is different, and they may, what is this and what is that? I don't know. Zulu, what is that? Maasai, what is that? Those are spelling words, and you're going to teach them what that means. Don't just look at, oh yeah, it says this, this, and this, and okay, we're done. I love that book. Yeah, facts. Yeah, that's what you do. You don't just read the book. Homeschool. I don't know how to pronounce this. Well, guess what? Google is good with pronunciations. A lot of people love Google. Sometimes Google will give you a decent answer, but you can Google these words if you don't know what these words say or mean. But there's a lot of, if you guys know, there's geography and all kind of stuff in this book. So that's the reason why I pulled out this book. Just the traditions. The traditions. They need to know the traditions. You ground them in the traditions. If these kids don't even know where they came from, how can you help them get to where they're supposed to go? They have no idea. They're so lost in somebody else's tradition, somebody else's culture, and they have no clue. That's our job, to lead them where they're supposed to go. And like I said, if you are not sure yourself, that means you need to homeschool yourself. My husband and I were sitting here talking like we always do. And I was talking about this book one time, and I said, I was talking about this, and I was talking to the kids about it, and I have this book. I need to get this book. We have to get it. And I'm, explaining about the book, and he was like, oh yeah. And I said something, and he was like, well, what about this? And I said, well, see, that's what I was trying to say, but I could, and I know there's something out there. I just, I'm trying to explain it, because the thing is, we have to unlearn what we have learned. Okay. The whole, I don't know, some people still stuck on Thomas Edison discovering the light bulb, which is not true. Yeah. But we have to unlearn that and stop teaching these kids that, stop going for it because somebody told us this, and that's what's in all the books and all that kind of stuff. When I say this resource, and he was like, okay, we're going to get the book, and where's the book, and how much is the book? I said, the book is $350. Okay, we're going to get the book. $350. Now, that's how serious we are, about things. And that's really not that much in terms of what we're looking for in the knowledge and things like that. Because I said, look, this thing has been, the psychology, the anthropology, just everything was on point. And I'm like, this is like amazing. The research, everything. A lot of books, you guys, for us are very expensive, and that's a hard pill for us to swallow. Excuse me. Grab some water. And it shouldn't be. It should not be that hard, because we're quick to drop some money on something else that's not even written by us. Even if it is a language arts, whatever, or a science, whatever, when we could be doing that with our own books, or geography, we could be doing that with our own books. We don't need that. You save that money and you buy that book. I cannot tell you how many books I come across, and I'm like, dang, this book $50, this book $100, this book $80, this book $1,000. I love all the books. I can go buy all the $5, $2. I could buy all of that, but not all of them are worth doing that. Okay, we look for really meaty substance, giving. things that really have been, you know, I don't want to say still whitewashed, but yeah, unlearned, because a lot of stuff, some people have written a lot of stuff. It's really good. Some of it is good. And people have said, hey, you started out really good on this part, but guess what? The rest of it is incorrect, or, the information was lacking and things like that. And so, yeah, but some of us, we don't care if the information is lacking or not. Oh, this curriculum costs, $20. This curriculum costs $30. I'm going to get this because it looks like this and it says this and everybody showed me this and it's good and it's pretty and it's, colorful, and yeah, there ain't no culture in it. Not for us anyway. And we know that we have to teach our children differently than these other kids. Um, we can't just expect them to learn the way everybody else does. That's just not going to do it. It's not going to cut it for us. Look at, like I said, these kids are here killing themselves in the street, doing things that they shouldn't, um, raising themselves. It's a scary, scary place for our generation. Where are the leaders? Now we're raising a generation that is going to be leading us. Are we raising these kids to be leaders? Or are we following everybody else? Because what I see these days, we're following everybody else. Some of that is not our fault. A lot of that started back in, the segregation days and all of that. Back before that, we had stuff. Now, we don't have nothing. People can't even pay their bills. They can't own homes. It's hard. We're struggling. And segregation was the worst thing that ever happened to us. Before that, our money was in our community and it stayed in our community. That's why when we purchase things, we try to keep things in our community as long as we can. They say 28 days. Keep that dollar black for 28 days. It's very, very important. I was at the store yesterday. I did a little vlogging. I didn't vlog in the store, but I was just showing you guys what I got. But it's very hard to find a black owned business and just constantly support them. But I do. I could go to the Asians. I'm at the hair store. I could go to the Asians. I could do that. But I'm trying to keep that money in there. And I constantly go back and I tell people, go there. Go there. Even if you're used to this, go over there and try what they have. Trust me, it's not more. You're going to find better stuff. Keep that money in the community. Whatever you need, try to stay away from, the big stores. As much as we can. I was going to talk a little bit about Amazon and how Amazon is affecting. Well, we've been knowing that, but Amazon is just taking over. Just put Walmart out of business, which is not bad anyway. But they're going after Target. Everybody love Amazon. I can't stand Amazon. And the thing is, because all that stuff comes from China, and people have to understand, you can't buy everything on Amazon. But what is going to happen? We'll go to Target sometimes, but again, it's hurting our economy. But if that same attitude, people are going to get upset. Oh, where's Target? I can't do this. Okay, well, we need to do that in our community. Teach these kids that. And so if we're raising the future, we need to move these kids towards entrepreneurship. I'm telling my child, okay, you say you want to be a doctor. Hopefully you will open up your own veterinary practice. If that's really what you want to do. Give them ideas like that. Let me pull out. What did I have over here? Let me give you guys maybe one or two more examples. I think I mainly went through little books. You know what? I have this book on me, I'm going to say this. Okay. Very popular in the community for the reading for us is, and watch I not find the picture that I want. Okay, here it is. No, that's not it. Is what is it thing called that series? Little House on the Prairie, The Pioneers, okay? Little House on the Prairie. Now, I have book hauls coming up. You're going to see something. Yeah. And I told you guys a long time ago why I would use that book. And I didn't bring in like Roll of Thunder, And that one is like the token black book that they throw in these curriculums. So everybody else is reading that book and that's all they can relate to is that. That's all they think about us. And some of us, that's all we have read, and some of us haven't even read it at all. Okay? We gotta stop that. But yeah, we can't relate to Little House on the Prairie. We didn't live like pioneers like that. This the kind of pioneer we know. Okay? Make sure this is in the frame. This over here. Okay? It don't look nothing like Little House on the Prairie. Okay? It says, for black pioneer families, homesteading was a desolate life. So guess what I'm going to write on the board and guess what you're going to copy down? Because if I took my kids, if I just said, oh, look at this, they wouldn't know this image. When my kids go to the country to go visit my dad, guess what they see? This image. This real life. It's pictures of me standing on the porch looking like that. So I can't say this is not us when they see it in their face. Show the cover again. Okay, I'm going to show you the cover. I didn't show the cover. But this little boy holding the cow. The calf, the baby calf. It's pictures of my dad look like this. So I can't say, we read Little House on the Prairie and that's what it was like on the prairie. No. Not at all. This book is called The Black Frontiers. Let me flip my screen and make sure it's in the... I know that glare is not doing justice. There we go. There. It is by Lillian Schlissel. It's a history of African American heroes in the Old West. Now, she did do a very nice detail. The images and things like that are on point. And that's the thing about this book and books like this. My kids don't really like cartoony images. They always ask me, are those pictures real? They want real pictures. Okay? So when I can say this is a real picture, and that book is in the library, that's when their eyes just pop. They're really, really interested for the real picture. Is that really what they look like? Yeah. This is real. And I may come back and, share. Because I do have a lot of books that I never shared with you guys. And, just tell you guys. But again, the same thing I just explained, at the top of the video about what I do. I do the same thing. We will sit down, we will read from this, we will pull out words, we will pull out the vocabulary, do the sentences. They may write something on this. They may put themselves in this person's position. How would they, navigate life? About to order it right now. Be right back, girl. Don't let me, I'm not trying to influence you guys, but I do understand. But this is what you do. This is a little book. This little book may cost you, I don't know, $5 ish. Okay. This book is probably a good 40, 50 pages. You got a whole lot of information in this book. Okay. The copy work in here alone is a lot. And that right there teaches them. They do learn from stuff like that. This something else I was gonna say it has reference to. Oh, this book does have reference to Nigger, heal. So, there may be some explaining over there. But again, these kids are exposed to so much stuff and things on TV as it is. And just outside. Why keep denying stuff that that is really important to them and that they should know about? And I had to, think about, should I put the KKK in my stuff or not? Because I hadn't got to that part. And yeah, I see it in other books. So you know what? I'm putting the KKK in there because they need to know about it. And anybody that has, feels a certain way about it, then they have a problem. Because their kids probably they probably part of the KKK. I don't know. You know, I have no idea. But this one is very why did I pick this book? I don't know. This book has so much information, and it talks about Bill Pickett, and you guys know we live in Austin, and he worked on ranches here. So very, hits home. It hits home. Let me see. Real pictures are essential for my kids too. Yeah, I'm so busy. LOL, but I want to share our book collection. You touched a bit on how we are so into teaching things that I don't represent us and our culture. Yeah. And I'm not, I know it takes a lot. It really does take a lot. And it's like, I've been on here for an hour and 22 minutes, and I said this is not a one-time deal. I'm going to close it up shortly, but I appreciate the dialogue. But this is not something that we need to just sweep under the rug and talk about everybody else's stuff. We need to just talk about our stuff, because there's enough people talking about everybody else's stuff. And there's enough of us on here trying to go low key and teach our kids. Don't do that. We have to stop doing that. We're not back on the plantation in the dirt trying to hide from master. We are, this is a millennium. We have our own platforms. We all know how to read and write. Nobody's going to come get us because we're sharing what we're using. Okay? We need to come together like they did in that village trying to hide and learn. We need to come out from under that rock right here on this platform and share so that everybody can grow and not just come and show your book. That's not what I'm saying. Don't go buy all the books and start showing all the books. That's not going to be important. And I'm not going to come and say, well, you need to get this book because it costs, $200. I'm not going to tell you that. I challenge you, save for it and get it. It will change your life. If I'm showing it to you, it's going to change your life. I guarantee you that. But I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what it's doing. I'm not just going to, oh, girl, look, I got this and I got that. And, I can show you. Just like I'm telling you, what's going on with what I have been doing with, all these books all along. It's not just, okay, we're just going to start and read these little books. I found this book and we're just going to read this and that's it. That's why we do have so many books and why I'm always very picky about the books, because it's certain things that I don't need, I'm not looking for, and I just can't deal with. And I have showed you guys this book before plenty of times. This is like one of our uh main books of, it just kind of covers everybody, and everybody has one of these books. You guys only see one. It's another one down here, but everybody has one. That's how important this book is. It is old. It's not that expensive. They are kind of scarce. It is a textbook, but it is written by us, for us, and it is the most relevant and correct thing that is so, what do I want to say? It's not real drawn out. It's quick. It moves. It's captivating. And it keeps everybody engaged. They can participate. Some of what you saw was from here. Um, and that was probably an introduction to a lesson, if I'm not mistaken, not something that they have been working on. But, we take stuff out of here, go through the stuff. By the end of the week, they know all kind of stuff. If I were to turn the camera on and just, they would rattle information, like a light, back and forth. And the same thing you see, the poetry memorizations and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's very important. But, there are a lot of resources as well. I didn't bring in Bronzeville. It's a lot of stuff like that we can use. We want to teach our kids poetry. Same thing for the older kids. I have shared with you guys before. And it's funny because this book right here, the one I just showed you, is called The African American Experience as well. So this is the African American Experience. It's written by a different person. But this one has all kinds of little small font, all kinds of speeches and all kind of stuff. Guess what we do with this book? Vocabulary words, sentence diagramming, all kinds of stuff. Baby is calling me. Well, you go take care of him. Thanks for chatting. Memorizations. You want to teach oratory. You need something like this. When I talk to you guys about your picture albums being your art books, and I showed you guys a long time ago, our family is we have a well-known photographer in our family that has a photography studio and was one of the main photographers, way back, doing back in the day, in the 1900s and stuff. That book right there is plenty of art for us. And the fact that it's done by our own family, that is just amazing. That's why I say pull out your picture albums. Call your grandma, ask, can you borrow the picture albums? And that's art right there. Picture, when your friends come over, you look at picture albums, your family get together. It take all day to do that, and you pass the time so fast. So stuff like that, spend some time doing that. People don't even because it's so digital these days. That's why I say you gotta call your grandma, and she not gonna give you the pictures, so you gotta give her something to borrow the books, because yeah, I know grandma, like, you gotta wait till but let these kids look at these pictures. They need to know who, where they came from, and just look, they can imagine what the person taking the picture was thinking, what was going on, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you want to, not just look at books. And yes, this is a very big book. You don't want to look, oh, well, that's just too much. This book is like almost 800 pages. And it covers just everybody. It's got Run DMC, Public Enemy, just all kind of stuff. Sugar Hill Gang. And that's where a lot of my stuff is. Kids these days don't know their culture. They don't know, they know hip hop. They don't know where hip hop started. They're going to learn a little bit if you follow my plan. They're going to learn stuff. The poetry. A lot of kids don't know poetry. They don't know, they know rap. But if you follow, they will learn, more than they know now. And that's just the goal. It's not, for every little thing. But again, these little things like this spark these kids' interest, and that's what they need. They need to stay in their culture. Um, Not just, the basic people that we know. You know, they need to broaden their history and their knowledge and their culture. Um, so one day I will be able to share, the more um, doings, and maybe the kids, just the stuff that I just keep and never share, stuff like that. I may, eventually start showing stuff like that, but I'm going to continue to, try to put some things up and just show you guys, you know, um, how to keep the thing centered, not just look at something and, okay, I don't know what to do with it. I'm just going to read this. If you have any questions, if you have material that books that you want to know how to use, let me know, and I can help you out if it's something you're trying to figure out. Um, Same thing with movies. I did talk about the Cosby Show and the Good Times and stuff like that, but movies, we did use the movies. I'll let you guys know how Malcolm X goes once they view Malcolm X. And we talked about the good and the bad. In fact, they have seen that one scene. They have seen that scene, but they want to know. They want to know. They want to know. And so I'm like, okay, yes, they get a little nervous and all of that, but they want to know. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna get down to it. You watch Spider-Man and all that junk. Yeah, it's got Batman and what's that mess that came out, Avengers and all that. You need to learn about something about us. Wakanda, you need to learn about us. Okay. So anywho, hopefully that this was helpful, and if you guys did not catch from the beginning, watch it. Again, that comment, I am going to, I will throw it in a vlog. Because like I said, it need, credit where credit is due. I really appreciate stuff like that, and her reaching out to me like that. Again, I won't mention who it was, but yeah. And to those that don't really understand, I can't, you know, I'm not trying to help you. Um, all I can say is ignorance, it's pure ignorance. I'm not doing anything that anybody else is not capable of doing. All I'm doing is sharing it, trying to help somebody else, and I know that it does help, but that negativity and all that, we will not tolerate that. I'm sure, my husband will get on and speak on this when he's available, and his standpoint. But it's kind of the same thing I said about educating the older kids and what we did. A lot of these books, like I told you in the beginning, these are books that I use with them. Okay, I went to the Barnes and Noble and got the books, and that's what I did. And if I had to get one book, I got one book. you know and I use it the best way I could, as long as I could. And a lot of our books fell apart. I had to buy the books again. What is this one book? Yeah, that yellow book. Somebody read the cover off the book. I'm like, good Lord. So, pick any book you want, and share with your kids. I don't think. Yeah, I'm saving that one. I have something very new that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna share it in another one. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm gonna share some new books. I want to spotlight one of our people. You know, like I said, supporting our people. This is not a new. He's a fairly new artist, and not many people probably know about him. But the material is just it's beautiful. It is beautiful, and like I said, you know, you're teaching these what you gonna see in my hall or one of those halls. The what is it? Oh my gosh, the classic fairy tales and all of that. Yeah, talk about a spin on a fairy tale. Okay. And it makes a difference. And I'll tell you guys that when you watch the book hauls, yes, I'm going to get all those book hauls up. But it makes a difference. You know, and I did point that out that, yes, I have them. Yes, I'm not reading cover to cover. I'm using them for something, not necessarily for them to read and all of that. Because, again, I'm worried about those images. But when you have somebody that can take that kind of book, that kind of story, and put a spin on it and put us in it, props off. You know, I just have to, I'm like, this is like amazing. So amazing because it changes the child's perception. So until next time, you all be encouraged. I will talk with you in the comments and stay tuned. Like I said, I'm probably going to come back and speak some more. I'm going to let this roll, see what the comments look like, my messages look like, you know, whatever, and go from there. But I am definitely going to continue to kind of, you know, speak on this topic and, you know, kind of direction that I'm continuing to move in. So you all be blessed. No, you can't have granny pictures. Exactly, girl. Yep, you cannot have granny pictures. She will hunt you down. I know my grandma had a thing. She had a note, and on the picture, she would write a note on the pictures, and you know, designated person said, and sure enough, when she passed away, they was like, "Here's a bag with all your pictures." I was like, dang. She would label stuff. If we gave her gifts, she would label it. And you could have it back once I'm gone. I'm like, dang. Grandma don't play. Anywho, I will talk to you all later. And thank you guys that thumbs up and comment. Much appreciated.